Now, chances are if you clicked on this video, you're wondering how to become a sponsored athlete and start working with brands. Over the last few years, I've had a bit of experience reaching out to brands, pitching them working with me, and I've sort of figured out what works and what doesn't, and I want to share that with you. I want to talk about media kits, pitching, building relationships with brands, because ultimately that's what sponsorship is building relationships with brands. Let's get into it. First and foremost, you need to identify who you want to work with. What brands align with you in the sport you play, because it's going to be different for everyone. A couple of my major sponsors are Laser Sport and Grupo Nutrition, and they align perfectly with me as a track cyclist. They provide me helmets, and Grupo provides me with my nutrition supplements, protein, carb mix, stuff like that. Those are brands that align perfectly with me as an athlete. Once you've figured that out, it's time to start moving on to pitching. And this is something that I've had to do a lot of trial and error with over the last little while. A lot of people don't really understand how easy it is to actually reach these companies now, especially with social media. The amount of pitches that I have sent over DM through companies on Instagram, I can't even count. It's perfectly okay to be doing that these days. Instagram is a place of business, and sending companies DMs is nothing new. But the important thing with sending these DMs is to be specific. Do not send general messages. They're gonna be put straight to the trash. When you're sending a message to a company on Instagram, be specific. Quickly introduce yourself, who you are, and what you want. The more specific that you are, the better chance you have of getting a response from these companies. Now, I do get quite a bit of responses back through Instagram directly, but for the sort of small chance you're not getting a response from those companies on Instagram, you can do a little bit more research. Head to LinkedIn, head to the company's website, and try and find a marketing email directly, and you can send that same message over to that email you found on the website. Now, this may all sound a little bit obvious in terms of reaching out to these companies, but the biggest thing you need to remember is the delivery of these messages. It's so important for you to be specific and identify what you want directly. These companies don't have the time to be reading through your life story and the message you send over. Quickly introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and ask for what you want. These companies may get tens or hundreds of emails a day, and you need to find a way of standing out through all that noise. Okay, I'm gonna throw an example here on the screen of a message that I've actually sent to a company to reach out to them, asking for sponsorship, asking to collaborate with them. In this message here, I've been very specific about what I want, who I am, and a little bit about me. Now, it's super important to make sure these messages are very clear and concise, not too wordy and not too long. Don't include your life story, because these brands do not have time to read through all of that. They want to know who you are and what you want. Get straight to the point. Once you've sent out all of these messages to these companies, you've hopefully gotten a response back. And a very common response from these companies is, hey, can you send us a media kit or a sponsorship deck? And that's something you absolutely need to be prepared for. Having a media kit that's well put together and looks professional is very important to send over to these companies. And that's something you can do in advance to be prepared for those messages. When I first started, this is something that I dramatically overlooked. When I hit with that message, I didn't even know where to start until I found Canva. This is not sponsored, this is not a plug, but I found Canva and I went on to their free version and found a template that looked good, and I went in and put all my information in and built something that I thought was very professional and well put together. Now, this is something that I do keep updating every year to make sure it's fresh and all the information is up to date, but it's very important to have something that looks good and is easily presentable to the brand. Now, Canva is great, and they have a lot of very professional looking templates and lots to choose from, especially in their free version. You don't need to get the full version to build a good media kit. Find a template, something that looks good to you, and start putting in all your information. It's really important that you include some of your social stats, your demographics, and most importantly, your main contact information. Include your social handles and a little bit about you. Now, when you're including your social media stats and demographics, it doesn't really matter what it is, but it's really just important for you to have something that the brand can actually see and look at. You don't need 100,000 followers in order to get a response from this company. You basically just need to have something that they can see and a tangible, basically put together media kit. The most important part of your entire media kit is going to be your about me or your bio. You need to include who you are, what you're about, and what makes you stand out. Here's my media kit that I built in Canva, and I make sure that it's updated every single year with all my new information and making sure that my social stats are all up to date. Now, once you've got that media kit all put together, make sure you save that as a PDF so you can immediately send that off to brands as soon as they ask. So just hopping in here real quick, while editing this video, someone else in the house here has decided that I missed a few very key points about getting sponsors. So rather than me reiterate them to you, she's gonna explain them to you herself. Let's hop over to Sarah for a few more points. Okay, so what else did I miss?
Okay, so Nick made a really good point that you don't need 100,000 followers or any specific number of followers to get a sponsor. But one of the most important things, and my advice to you, is to actually be active on your platforms. You know, kind of show what you're doing, and so that when these brands go to look at your profile, they can see what's going on, get to know you, and potentially want to be part of that journey. It would just be so bad if a brand, you know, goes to your page and there's like potentially something there and you have nothing. It can definitely be hard to like post and train at the same time, but it's all about time management and just finding a way. A lot of this video is about using your social media platforms to reach out to brands, but another great way of doing that, if you have the opportunity, is in person, whether that be at local events, races, just any opportunity that you see or that you come across, take it. Because it is so much better to build these connections face to face, and it can help you so much in the long run. It might seem a little bit awkward and intimidating, but you just kind of have to do it and put yourself out there. The one thing that I do want to say about your pitch through like message on Instagram or email, you want this to be the best elevator pitch that you've ever done. So not too long of a message, not too short, just the perfect length. And I know Nick talked about this, but you want to be as specific as possible because this will really grab their attention. And then I would follow that with what exactly is it that you're looking for, and why do you think that this brand can help you? And in turn, how are you going to help them? These are some of the things that you really want to include in that message. Basically be giving them all the information that they need to know why you want to work with them, because don't expect them to reply and have a conversation with you and then get to the point. You want to put everything in that message so that it's all on the table and it's way easier for them to respond to you. My final bit here is don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because you definitely don't get what you don't ask for. I'm the absolute queen of cold pitches, and when I want something, I go get it. And if you don't hear back, don't be discouraged. And if you really want it and you want to be persistent, just wait a few weeks, a month or so, and resend a message. There's been so many times where I don't hear back from a company, and I'll just sit on it and wait, and then just try again in a few months, and they come back, or at least some of them have come back. But at the end of the day, you don't get what you don't ask for, so just go out and get it.
One of the biggest things that sponsors are looking at when they look to sponsor an athlete is going to be ROI, and that is return on investment. Sponsorship is a two-way street, and building a relationship with that brand is very, very important. Sponsors are not going to come to you because you may be the best in your sport or have the most followers on Instagram or TikTok. Sponsors are going to come to you because they want to work with you directly. You need to understand that sponsors do not need to sponsor athletes. They want to, but they need to make sure that they're getting something out of it as well. So you need to figure out what you can offer to these brands. Is that product testing? Is that promotion of their products? Is that just displaying products? Is that putting their name on your kit? Once you've got a better idea of that, you can go to that brand with your ideas. Now, my last point in this video is to make sure you think of these sponsorships as actual relationships, because these do not have to be one-time deals. These can be career-long sponsorships that you can build and help prosper over time. These sponsorships require work from both sides, so making sure you're putting in the time and effort, being active on socials, keeping communication with these brands is very, very important to turn these into long-term relationships. Some of the best sponsors I have been going on for multiple years, and it's a relationship that I've put time and energy into building and maintaining. That's gonna be it for me on this one. Hope you enjoyed part 3 of the athlete branding series. If you have any questions for me about reaching out to brands, leave them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.